Hello, friends. Guess who's back? Yeah, I know. It's been like 3 years since you guys have gotten anything from us on this channel. Katie and I have it's been a rough few years. Life, we'll say, got in the way. But Katie and I are back. We're going to start the channel again. And this is one of our first videos, our first video in almost 3 years. It's a solo review from me. It Came From My Basement was the name of the channel. Katie and I will start doing a couple reviews again. Just give us a little more time to iron some things out. This video, there's two purposes for this video. One, to just get some new content on the channel. Two, I need to kind of test out some of our new equipment. And we have some new editing software that I'm going to be using for the videos. So this is kind of a test run for that. So, hey, let's talk about a movie, shall we? I watched The Tunnel. This is a movie that was released in 2011. It stars Belle Delia, Andy Rodoreda. Andy, I'm going to apologize if I butchered your last name. And Luke Arnold, who some of you out there may recognize. If you've watched Black Sails, you will definitely recognize Luke. Other than that, it was pretty much all nobody I recognized. I'm assuming these are all Australian actors, considering it was filmed in Australia. And being a found footage film, that helped. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. But to give you some insight into what the movie's about, Sydney, Australia is suffering from massive droughts, right? It's Australia. We hear about that all the time. They decide, I should say, the mayor and the prime minister decide that they're going to access these massive underground lake that they've discovered in these old train tunnels, subway train tunnels that have been abandoned. We hear about that all the time in major cities, right? How they just build on top of, just keep building on top. Seattle is known for that. So they discover these lakes. They decide that they're going to access this water. They're going to clean it up. They're going to provide it to the masses. But then before the project even really gets started, the government shuts it down. No explanation, no talk about why they're doing it. Just boom, done. In steps Natasha, played by Belle Delia. And Natasha is a young, kind of an upstart news reporter. She's desperate for her first major break in a story. So she talks Peter and Jim and another individual, a news crew, a camera guy, a producer, and a sound guy into going into these tunnels under Sydney and trying to figure out why the project was ended. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because there's your movie right there. What did I like about this film? Well, first I'm going to tell you the way that it was structured. It was in a documentary style, and I think it really worked for this film. This isn't the first time we've seen this in found footage. Personally, I think that this is the best way to do a found footage film. Do it in a documentary kind of style. I think back on, the Blair Witch did this. Well, the Blair Witch had like a mockumentary to kind of build up to the release of the film. Lake Mungo did this. There's a couple other found footage spattered out there that use this kind of structure, and I think it really works. So all of the story comes from interviews with the main characters, which in this one it's just the two main characters, Natasha and Peter. And then you get some found footage from what they recorded while they were in the tunnels. And then there's actually certain spots where there's like CCTV footage that you're seeing of them. And they put all this together in a documentary kind of setting, and it really worked. It was effective for this film. The other thing that I really enjoyed was the simple fact that we never really see the monster, the threat, if you will. I appreciate that. Anybody who's been following my channel and my reviews know I'm not a fan of the early reveal of the monster. I like the Jaws effect when it comes to the main monster in the film. Hold off showing us the monster as long as you can. That helps build up that tension. And, sometimes it doesn't work. sometimes when the monster is revealed, it's not what was built up in our head and our imagination, and that can be disappointing. And sometimes it works. In this, it was very effective. Now, let me tell you, we never really see the monster, the threat in this one. We get glimpses of it, but every time we do see it, it's through the night vision lens. So it's never clear. It's always grainy and green, and you can't really see it. It looks like it might be humanoid, but if it is humanoid, it sure as heck don't sound like it's a human. We only really see glowing eyes and kind of a shape of from the shoulders up, really. All we can really tell is that it's tall, it's big, whatever it is. And that adds to the kind of uneasiness of this damn thing running around tunnels chasing these people. And the acting was good. Although the best actor was taken out early, that usually happens in a lot of found footage. But the acting was decent. It was what I wanted it to be. So yeah, that's what I liked about this movie. The things that I didn't like, and the only real problem I had with this movie, and to be honest with you, it's the same problem I have with most found footage. You get to a point in the movie where you just say, put down the camera. Just run. Put it down. They give you kind of an explanation in the beginning as to why the cameraman kept filming. But by the end of the movie, it doesn't really hold up, if I'm being completely honest with you. At least for me, it didn't. And that is always a problem in found footage horror. You get to a point where you're like, come on, these people are idiots. Why don't they put the camera down? But even with that, I got a kick out of this movie. I'm going to tell you, it was a found footage film that I was not disappointed in. I only own 2 found footage movies at this point in time, and that's The Blair Witch Project and Wreck. Let me rephrase that. I own 3 simply because I have both versions of Wreck. I have the original, I believe it was Spanish, and then the American version they did later. I would add this one to my collection, especially if it had especially if it had some special features on it. It would be fun to kind of see some of the behind the scenes stuff and how they came up with the story. Things like that would be interesting. But yeah, I liked it enough to where I would watch it again. Probably not by myself, but if I had like a group of people over and said, hey, you guys want to watch a fun movie? Let's get drunk and watch this movie. It's tons of fun. But yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it was an all right film. I think I can honestly tell you that in the vast collection of found footage horror genre, this one I would definitely put maybe in my top 15 or 20. But let's be honest, I don't know if I have that many found footage horror films that I like. So I don't know what kind of list that would be, but it would be on the list of ones that I liked. So yeah, there you go. The Tunnel 2011. It's currently streaming. You can watch it for free if you have a Shudder subscription. If not, well, I think AMC Plus might have it running as well. But other than that, it's available for rent on any of your major streaming services. And I enjoyed it. It's not that bad. I think it's well worth a look. So there you go. That's my review of The Tunnel. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. That really helps us keep the channel going and get it to where we want to get it. If there's any movies out there you'd like to get my opinion on, definitely leave me a comment and tell me what you thought about The Tunnel. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are there things you may have seen that I missed? Let me know. I would love to discuss this with you. On that note, I'm going to bid you all a fond adieu. I hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.